Sully to kind of get going like they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long week for those two guys. Opening weekend didn't go the way that, those two guys wanted to go. And there's a lot of expectations on them. They're really talented, and they're pitching 1 and 2 at the University of Georgia. And they didn't have a great start opening weekend, but a lot of credit goes to them just to bounce back and to block out the noise and just focus on what they needed to do in the bullpen and with Coach Kenny and just getting their minds right. And I thought both of them showed a lot of mental toughness to be able to bounce back and arguably pitch as well as they've pitched in their careers the last 2 days.
And then how big was it? A lot of baseball this weekend, but a little bit of adversity with the weather yesterday, but how big was it to get these 2 wins today?
Well, just to have a good feeling about it, I thought we played well all the way around today. Had some big hits, a lot of really good at-bats all the way through the lineup. Played really good defense. We ended up making an error there late, but bottom line, we played really good defense and pitched it great, and came up with some big hits. So not done yet. We're only halfway done with the weekend. We've got 2 more to go tomorrow, but certainly feels good to get 2 under our belt.
Well, just one of those things today, Coach. If this had been like a month into the season, you let Liam kind of go a little bit more there to see if you could get the no-hitter?
Yeah, maybe. He certainly was getting fatigued, and 85 to 90 was what we had in our heads, and then of course you look up there and there's a 0 on the board, and I think we've talked about this before. No coach ever wants to take a guy out with a no-hitter, but you don't throw no-hitters in February.
Yeah.
That's what I said in the dugout he talked me out of it. When he went 2-0 to bowl, he looked like he was gassed, and so we decided he was coming out. And I got halfway there, and he started arguing with me, which Liam loves to do. He loves to argue. And by the time I got to the mound, I said, "You really want to get this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, Coach." I go, "Can you get him?" He goes, "Absolutely." Said it like I was a dummy, which I think sometimes I am. And he said, "Absolutely, Coach, I can get him." I'm like, "All right, you got it." I just turned right back around. And I think I shocked those guys because, Chandler Marsh was coming in the game. Yeah. I think he was already starting to walk, waiting for me just to call him. And he talked me out of it. So I'm really glad that he did that, because that was a good moment for him and our team and the crowd that really got everybody into it. Yeah. He tried to talk me out of it in the dugout when he still had a no-hitter, but his heart wasn't in it as much. I think he knew he was done. He threw 97 pitches, and that's plenty to throw on February the 25th.
And something I know we've talked about a couple of times before when it comes to Jaden and Lee. Just getting ahead and count. Yeah,
well,
that was. Speak for any pitcher, obviously, but that's what they really kind of sparked him a little bit. I thought.
Yeah, it makes your life a lot easier when you're ahead in the count, and then you can throw your breaking ball. It just makes the hitter guess a little bit more. If you're 1-0, you're sitting on a fastball. If you're 0-1, you don't know what's coming. So it just makes the hitters guess a little bit when you're getting strike one. And when Liam was throwing 4 different pitches for strikes, it was fastball, curveball, slider, change, and he was throwing them any time. And they've got a couple of hitters that are really aggressive first pitch, and he's able to throw those guys changeups first pitch and get a lot of quick outs. So he was really good today. The velocity was up. I think he's up to 92 today. So good to see that velocity creeping up, and he held it most of the game. But more than anything, just been able to the off-speed stuff for strikes and just be really consistent.
And offensively, the way Charlie and Parks are they were hot. I know in preseason. Yeah. Charlie's really been hot since I know fall. But when to have those guys going like that, I know Charlie get that first home run off his back, so to speak. How big was that?
Yeah, well, those guys are dangerous. When you look at Connor Tate and Parks Harbor and Charlie Condon, and the way Wagner's swinging it, and Corey Collins is really swinging the bat well too. The numbers don't really reflect with Corey, but he's hit a lot of balls hard and having really tough, good at bats. So, I think the lineup is really long. It's tough to get out, but that middle, those 3 righties right together, Connor Tate, Parks Harbor, and Charlie Condon, they walked Parks to load the bases to try to get a double play, but you're going to Charlie Condon. That's a tough decision, and that's why you put those guys back to back to make them make a decision. Are we going to pitch to Parks, or are we going to pitch to Charlie? And Parks has got a little bit more of a track record, and Charlie's still kind of the new kid on the block. But I think I think I said this a couple weeks ago that everyone's going to know Charlie Condon's name by the time we get into March and April.